Well, let's take a look at the grain market, and you have to kind of take a look at corn. Corn's been the interesting one, at least for me, as of late, in a global macro terms, and also in its own little row crop terms. Not little; it's our biggest crop, but it's been an interesting story thus far. Let's talk old crop stuff that's in the bins, right? That's May corn that held this low of 332. Is that going to be something where we actually do draw a line in the sand? Can we get a bounce from there, and how much? Corn is up today a little bit. I'll talk about that in a second, but we have held there for the short term. There has been a few stories, negative stories floating around. One of them, the biggest one, is going to be some ethanol plants just not taking any corn. I mean, they've really taken it on the chin. So those types of negative ethanol news. Now, ethanol is 5 billion bushels a year, really roughly a third of our corn balance sheet on an annual basis. So if you really have a big problem over there, how much of that corn is going to come back from the ethanol balance sheet into our national balance sheet? And that's what I think everybody's got in their minds, and that's where all these trade guesses are coming from. And to some degree, you've got some really defensive trades being put on at this moment in time, in case it's more corn that's leaving those ethanol plants and coming back into our balance sheet. So that's what really that's the big talk right now. That you've seen some negative headlines from ethanol getting hurt because of this crude oil sell-off, right? But here's the funny part: crude oil sold off as of late very, very hard. We got down to the high teens. But today we've seen, a $4, almost, a 20% gain in crude oil. So if I would have said to you 20% gain and I'm flipping on my screen and I want to see what's going on with corn, I would expect it to be up. Well, it is up, but nowhere near anywhere close the range of, say, as far as percentage gains as crude oil's had. And I think that's really from the devastation we've seen on the ethanol market, and that's the break right there. So it followed crude oil down as ethanol was getting killed, but as crude oil has come back here, a big percentage gain in the short term, mind you. It's not going to be that easy for the ethanol plants, and then obviously that's why you've seen corn higher in the day, but in sympathy rather than really marching that way. So keep an eye on that. It traded down with crude oil. Can it trade back up with crude oil if we get something going over that in that market? I'm not quite sure we're going to have a massive move over there just because of what's going on with Russia and Saudi Arabia, and then obviously the demand destruction because everybody's at home not going out buying gas. But this will be interesting to see if corn can finally get its head up off the mat. We usually do kill the crop once a year, no pun, just an old saying, because we will get a rally because of some sort of scare. But we're probably going to be looking to have that happen sooner rather than later because these prices are pretty punishing for the grower out there, the producer. So keep that in mind. We followed it on the way down. Are we going to be able to get any gains on the way back? Right now, it's having a hard time.